Hey, all you gorgeous folks out there. So today I hit the gym and I just wasn't feeling the gym. Some days, man, I can hang out there for a couple hours and never grow bored with it. And then some days I just have got to hit the pavement. And usually it runs hand in hand with stuff that I've got to work through on the inside. And so today I did just that. I got some bis and tris in, and then I took off running. And when I took off running, my goal was just to keep going until I really started to feel worn and then turn around and head back. And so as I took off, there was certain places where I normally turn, and out of habit, it was deep in me. Turn. This is where you always turn. And I said, you know what? Keep going. You're not worn yet. Keep going. So it turns out that I was able to go a pretty significant way. Now, the most I've ever ran is around 7.4, 7.6 miles. I wasn't shooting to achieve what I've done in the past, but rather to take stock of where I was physically today, what I was capable of doing today, and to keep going until I felt worn, and then turn around and run back. And as I was running, I started to think about a lot of things. I started to think about, my gosh, what is it that has caused me to not get out here and run? Has it been that I've been preoccupied with other things in my life? And the answer to that is yes. I've been pretty honest with you guys, I think, in the last couple of years. And so I'll be honest with you now. I'm not going to lie. It has absolutely preoccupied my mind to love and to seek to be loved. And so I've been on some dates and I've had a great time, and some of them not so great, and some of them were just okay. But I can tell you that what has happened is that it has kind of distracted me from a permanent thing in my life, which is running, fitness, health, and wellness. And so as I was running, I was thinking about the fact that I've kind of got to work my way back up to that 7.6, 7.8 mile. 7.8 miles that I'm able to do. And it gave me just a fresh new look at what can distract me. And I guess I saw some of the places in my life, like that normal turn where I was used to turning. I see some things that I get used to doing, and I get used to pushing some of my goals aside because I'm thinking, this has got to be the one. This has got to be the one that I'm going to love and is going to love me. And the truth of the matter is that I have no doubt in my mind that when it is right for me, and when I am right for someone else, neither of us will have to push our goals aside to create time for each other. And so that's the first thing that hit me, that I've got to be aware of things that I'm used to doing, like that turn. And I've got to be aware that if I'm going to really achieve my goals, then I have got to stop letting this stuff distract me. And so I kept on going. And I found myself getting right about to that peak of where I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to run back whenever I hit this point. And so I went just a little bit further, and I turned around and I went back. And I got back to the gym, and I thought to myself, my gosh, that has got to be a lot of miles. I mean, that was tough. And so I jumped in my car. I don't have one of those little cool nifty watches that you can tell as you're going how many miles that you ran. I have to actually get in my car and allow my car to do the little trip odometer thing. And it hit me. I was like, is the number on this little trip counter, is it going to make me feel better or not so better, not so good, whatever the proper English is? Am I going to feel better or worse when I see this number? And I thought to myself, well, it doesn't really matter. It is what it is. So I mapped it out, and it came out to exactly 5.5 miles. And I began thinking about while I was driving, I began to think about, what was I feeling at this mile marker? And what was I feeling at this mile marker? And what was I feeling this last mile? And that's where the bulk of this message comes from. Sorry it took me 5 minutes to get here. Okay? The bulk of my thought for you today is, so often in the grace community, we tell you the past is in the past, leave it in the past, keep going, keep moving, you're in your now moment. And that is true. That is absolutely true. So when I got to the gym, it didn't really matter how many miles I had ran. However, if I have a goal or a vision in mind for where I want to be in my fit level or in my wellness and my ability to run so many miles, then it is vital that I take a look at what was going on in mile 1 and mile 2 and mile 3 and mile 4 and mile 5 and what that last 0.5 miles was. Why? Because that's where I put in place different things that I want to infuse into my run so that the next time I hit that 3-point mile, then I know, hey, the reason why I felt super, super tired right here and had to turn around and run back was because this section that led up to it, I was pushing way too hard. I was on a section of road that was just requiring a lot of work from me. So the next time I run, I'm going to make sure that around this section of the 3-point mile that I'm going to jut over a road so that I don't have to push as hard so that I can run even further. Now, how can I apply that to our lives? We're told the past is in the past. Keep going. But I can tell you something. The past holds significant growth for us. If we never look back, if we never take a look at what happened over the weekend that we wish was a little different, or what happened with that relationship that we could have been a little bit more intuitive with, and we could have avoided some of those things if we had paid attention to red flags, if we never take a look at where we've been, we are going to continue to duplicate the same exact BS that we keep going through that we want free of. Now, I can tell you just recently in my life, I experienced something that I would give my left arm. Well, maybe I wouldn't give my left arm. I'm kind of fond of it. I really wish that I hadn't went through it. However, if I just have the grace mindset that the past is in the past and I just need to keep on going and I'm just going to fly like the wind, like this little, free spirit, it is possible that I will duplicate some of the things that I wished hadn't happened again. Okay? So, goodness, I got a little excited about that. It took me running today and making some of the changes in the last couple of weeks that I've made in my life, having taken a look at the past and not ignored it, to arrive at this mindset that the past is absolutely in the past, but ignoring it as if it never happened. Being unwilling to grow stronger in the places that have pulled us down in the past, and being completely oblivious to the fact that it's possible for the past to hang on to us if we don't make those shifts and those bends and those turns. If we hold on to the past, it's possible that we can grow from it. Now, I don't mean hold on to it like bring it with us, but be mindful of it. So let me repeat that. I'm not meaning hold on to the past. I'm saying be mindful of it and be willing to make the changes that it takes so that next time you're faced with that same situation, you do things a little bit different. So that's my thoughts from my run today. I hope you have an absolutely extraordinary day. Don't forget to look back at the past, see the places you could have done a little bit better, the things you could have been a little bit stronger in, and then be willing to implement those changes in your life. With my run, I learned a lot of things about my running style today that absolutely is applicable to my everyday life. I love you, you matter to me, and I hope you have an absolutely extraordinary day. I love y'all. Word.